All right, welcome everybody. So I decided to switch things up a little bit and take our classes outside for the summer. So this is the start of an outdoor summer series class that I'll be posting. And I hope that you enjoy it because it's really hard to want to be inside right now, especially if you are where I am in New England, where the summer season is all too brief and really short. So this time outdoors is precious, and especially being able to bring our yoga practice into it makes it a really unique and just nourishing experience overall. So when you're ready, come into child's pose. We're going to get right to it and separate the knees, mat width distance apart, and walk your hands forward so the torso slides in between the legs and the head lowers all the way down. And this summer season is a time when so much of our energy is focused on our external circumstances. It's a really fiery and playful time of year. And so it's nice to begin our practice with a more introspective pose that allows us to tap into this cooling side of our energy, of our body, of our mind. And then here in child's pose, take a few rounds of breath and just let the forehead sink down into the floor. And feeling that point of contact underneath the fingers, the head, the knees and the feet, and perhaps even your belly resting on your thighs. And then slink the spine forward a little bit longer, reach your hips back, encouraging a more gentle traction in the spine, a nice stretch for the low back and the hips. Kind of pulling all of our reserves and that nourishing, grounding, almost watery sensation into the body. And then gently lift yourself up onto your hands and knees. And tuck your toes and press down through the shins and through all 10 finger pads. And as you lengthen your ears away from the shoulders and simultaneously draw the low ribs in and up, and reaching back through the hips. And a little cinch in of the waistline and of your belly. And a little sip of breath in here. And exhale it all out. And slowly roll the heart forward as you tip the hips up and back, and drawing the navel in and up to support the front of your spine in cow pose. And exhale and reverse this curvature of the spine and draw the tailbone down and pull the shoulders apart from each other off the back. Inhale and slingshot the heart forward in between the shoulder blades. Gather them together on the back ever so slightly. And then exhale, round up and back. Once more, just like that. Inhale and pull the heart forward. Press down through the heels of your hands and even drag them back as if you're trying to pull the mat back. Feel that muscle tone in the front of the chest and the belly. And then exhale, round the spine into cat pose, pulling the upper chest muscles in and up to facilitate this protraction of the shoulder blades, moving apart from each other. And slowly return to a neutral spine. I'm going to take a breath in here and tuck the toes under, walk the hands forward, slide the hips back into puppy pose. So it's halfway between downward facing dog and child's pose. And as you stretch forward through the hands, dig the toes down and press back through the hips. And feel the lines of the body and stretching forward and reaching back. Breathe into the hollows of the armpits so that you're deepening the stretch around the upper chest and the torso. And then slowly walk your hands in a little bit closer, tuck the toes if they're not already, and move yourself up and back into a downward facing dog. And taking a couple rounds of breath just to settle in here. And feeling that visceral connection to our hands and our feet. And then fortifying that structure a little bit more by adding some pressure. And even something as simple as becoming more aware of it. And gently bend the elbows out to the side and let that pull the shoulder blades even more onto your back. So the heart kind of presses forward, the shoulder blades pull back. And straighten the arms. Inhale, lift up onto your tip toes. And then exhale, bend the knees, lift your sit bones up and back. And stay strong in the arms, squeeze the biceps gently in towards your ears. And then press the heels back and down, reach your booty back. And take a deep breath into that space that you've created, that space that you've found. And inhale and roll yourself forward into plank pose. Exhale, slink back downward facing dog. Oh, there's bugs on my arm. And inhale, round forward plank. Let the head lift last. Keep it in line with your spine. And then exhale, round back, downward dog. Last time here, as you roll forward, pull the belly in, tuck your chin slightly, and then slowly lift the head, reach through the crown of your head and press back actively through the heels. Okay, lower all the way down onto the belly. Flick any bugs off of the arms. It's real. And wrap the shoulder blades back, press down through the tops of your feet, your pubic bone, as you slowly lift the heart up into a baby cobra. You're just gathering shoulder blades back. A softness in the back of the heart. And slowly release. Curl your toes underneath you. Lift yourself up and back to downward facing dog. And maybe a little bend in the elbows or a bend in the knees to feel the natural curves of your spine. Sometimes that tightness in the low back can cause us to round, kind of like in a cat pose shape. So we're just restoring that natural balance. And inhale and breathe the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale to step it all the way through. Maybe grab your ankle and step it forward if you need to. And then gently lower the back knee down. Hug the legs in, breathe the arms up and overhead. And gently squeeze the inner thighs towards the midline of the body. And as you inhale to lift up and out of the waistline, reaching through the crown of your head, the fingertips. And as you untuck your back toes, squeeze that left bum down towards the ground. And another breath in here. And then exhale, sweep the hands back. Tuck your back toes. And then inhale to sweep the arms up and overhead, high lunge. And stack your ribs over your pelvis. And press through the back heel. And feel that gentle pull of the thighs hugging inward to support you here. And as you open the heart up, soft bend in the elbows like a cactus shape, and just wrap the shoulders back, not diving back into a back bend here, but just opening the front of the chest a little bit more. And slowly release, touch the floor or the earth. And then step your back foot all the way forward to the top of your mat. Soft bend in your knees as you bow, Uttanasana, forward fold. And inhale and drag the hands up to the shins right beneath your knees. And roll the arm bones back and extend the spine long, half lift. And then exhale, slowly fold forward. And even though this is a more introspective and kind of passive shape in the upper body, that lower body stays grounded and energized. So press down, pull up into the hips, even feel the sit bones kind of roll apart from each other. And keep all of that energetic tone as you inhale and lift the arms up and overhead, like you're reaching for the sun. And let the arm bones move back. The heart casts forward. Press back through the crown of your head and look up. Reach up, stretch. And exhale, gather your hands together at heart center. And take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Good. And stacking the shoulders over your hips. And a soft bend in your knees to move that space in the front of your hips back slightly as you press down. Drag the tailbone down and stacking hips over knees. Landing your knees over your ankles. And pulling that energy up through the earth as you feel that natural buoyancy and lightness moving up into the upper body. Inhale and sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale and fold forward, hinge at the hips as you bow. Inhale, half lift, hands slide up to shins, upper arm bones roll back. And plant your hands down, step your right leg straight back behind you, step your left foot back to meet it, plank pose. And inhale, shift forward, and exhale, lower the knees down. You bend the elbows straight back as you lower your chest and your chin to the floor. The shoulders back, a little bit deeper of a back bend here as you drag the heels of your hands back. Good. Roll those upper arm bones back to open up the front of the chest. And slowly move back into your down dog. A round of breath here. Let everything settle. Stretch your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. And pull the belly in as you step that left foot all the way through. Knee stacks over ankle. And squeeze the legs in as you breathe the arms up. And then just feel that natural sense of support. Just a simple press down helps you to feel more lifted, a little bit more buoyant. To feel that natural balance and that playful relationship between this feeling of being grounded and then also rising up, energy moving down and skywards. And untuck the back toes, hug the inner thighs in, and draw that right sit bone down. Right glute turns on a little bit. And adding a little bit more heat here, tuck the back toes, sweep the arms back behind you, gather shoulders on your back, and then inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, high lunge. And try to pull the front body back as you actively reach through that back leg. And hug the low belly in and up, bend the elbows like goalposts, wrap the shoulders back. And stay steady in the low body as you just slowly open the chest. Don't go deep here. Just feel that opening and that lift. And exhale, slowly release. And let's step right back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up onto tip toes. Exhale, bend your knees. And pull the belly in, round the spine, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hands pull to heart center. And inhale, sweep arms up. A soft bend in your knees, draw the low ribs down. Even feel the tailbone dragging downwards as you lift the heart upwards. And then exhale, hands back to heart. One more time, inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. And exhale and fold. Step your left leg long back behind you. You lower the back knee down, keep the back toes tucked and sweep the arms up. And this time interlace your hands behind the upper part of your skull, point the elbows forward, catching the back of your head with your hands as you press back. And gather the shoulder blades so that they gather around the back of your heart. And lift the chest, lift the chin, sink a little bit deeper and hug in. And from here, come back to neutral, reach the arms up, lift yourself right back up into high lunge. And now slowly peel yourself open into a warrior two. I'm going to turn myself around. So here in warrior two, landing in this shape. And because this is also a season that invites a little bit more of that playful energy, we'll do something a little bit different, a little bit out of the ordinary. So as you flex your right hand, flex your left hand in the opposite direction, and tip your left ear to your left shoulder. Now, like you had a piece of string that was just moving through the ears, you're slowly gonna reverse that from side to side. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Return back to warrior two. Rest your front arm on top of the front thigh. Keep it nice and light as you extend the left arm alongside of the ear. Side angle pose. And roll that left shoulder back and feel the straight line along the left side seam of the body as you actively press down through the back foot and reach through the top arm. And hug the low belly in and up. And exhale and slowly release. Now from here, pivot onto the ball mount of your back foot. Place your left hand down flat onto the ground, and then slowly start to walk that right foot. Hang on. Slowly start to walk the right foot halfway down your mat. Open the right arm up. Plug the left shoulder blade back. Squeeze the bottom hip in and up, and reach through the top arm. And a little hug of the belly in towards the spine. And then slowly release. And step back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple the spine forward to plank. A nice straight spine, reaching forward and backwards. Gently lower the knees down, chest and chin. Wrap the shoulders back. And plug the shoulder blades down just a little bit. And as the front of the chest kind of reveals itself forward. Good. Exhale and slowly release. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips. Downward facing dog. And inhale, float the left leg up and back. And exhale, let's just step it all the way through. And lower the back knee to the mat. Keep the back toes tucked. Inhale the arms up and overhead. And on your exhale, interlace your hands behind the back of your skull. Point the elbows forward. Lift and tone your low belly. Feel that buoyancy, that levity and lightness that comes from that feeling of being grounded. And just cradling the back of your head with your hands, start to add a little bit more pressure. Press back, lift the chest and the chin. And then slowly return back to neutral as you extend the arms up. And draw the lower ribs down. Inhale, lift yourself up, high lunge. And press down through your front heel and hug it inwards. As you extend back, feel the muscles on the back side of the leg kind of reaching back. Activating that and turning it on. And slowly open up into warrior two. And press your left knee out to the side. Even wrap your outer left hip underneath you to feel that opening in the inner left thigh. As you rest in the strength of your legs, then flex your left palm outwards, and flexing the right wrist inwards, and tip your left ear back to the left shoulder. Let's do 10 of these movements from side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And flip your palms down. Move right into side angle, staying light on the left elbow. Rest it alongside on top of the left leg. Get and reach your right arm along the ear. And as you gently pull the shoulder blades back, simultaneously draw the ribs down. And feeling that downward movement of energy through the legs, through the low body. See if you can turn the chest open a little bit more towards the sun. And from here, gently release. Lower both hands down, pivot the back heel up off of the mat, and implant your right hand down onto the floor. And slowly start to pivot the left foot down the left side of your mat as you plug the right shoulder blade back, even spin the bicep forward so you automatically have this opening of the chest. Float the left arm up and reach it actively through the top arm. Imagine there was a puppet string attached to your fingertips. You were kind of lifting the pelvis up towards the sky. And breathing it all in. Feeling this combination of the heat from your muscles and this cooling and synthesizing sensation as you draw in the breath slowly through the nose. And gently release the hands down. Slide the dirt off of your mat. Good, rock forward, shoulders over the wrists. Lower straight down to your belly, pressing the floor away from you. Untuck the toes and squeeze the legs together. Reach your tail towards your heels and roll the shoulders up and back. Squeeze them together and press them slightly down as you unfurl the heart. Get a little breath in and exhale to release. And tuck the toes. Lift the hips. Downward facing dog. And we'll roll through a similar sequence on the other side, but amplify it just a little bit to increase that heat. And putting it all together, inhale the right leg up and back. And exhale, step it all the way through, keeping the back knee lifted. Press down and stretch the arms up. High lunge. Pull the front ribs back and stack your rib cage over the pelvis. Now this long clear line through the spine as you bend the elbows. Squeeze the inner thighs in and press down through the feet. Good, start to wrap the shoulders back. Keep reaching through the back leg, opening the chest up, gathering shoulder blades to catch the back of the heart as you tip the elbows forward, eventually curling up through the upper spine, the top of your skull, pointing your nose up towards the sky. And inhale to return back to center. And then open up Warrior Two. One breath here in Warrior Two. Stretch through the fingers. And bring your front arm to rest on the front thigh. Sweep the left arm along the ear, side angle. And roll that left shoulder back. Lengthen the sides of your neck. And breathe. And this time, lower both hands down. Keep the back foot planted onto the floor and straighten your right leg. And draw the right thigh bone in and up. Maybe slide your hand up onto the shin just ever so lightly as you lift your left arm up into triangle pose. And press down, really plug the feet into your mat as you also plug the thigh bones in and up into the pelvis. And take a deep breath in, opening up that left side of the chest. And bring your left hand to the left hip and slide forward into half moon. So reach the right fingertips forward, press down and float the left leg up. And squeeze the outer left hip in and up as you roll the left shoulder open and maybe float the left arm all the way up towards the sky. And stay here and gently release the left hand down. Square the pelvis down to the floor. And cast that left leg back as you fold forward over the front. Really squeezing outer right hip in and plugging the thigh bone into the pelvis. And allow the torso to drape down over the standing leg for one more round of breath. And gently bend that front knee. Carefully lowering the back leg down to the floor. And just peel the right arm open for a twist. And squeeze the belly in and up. Squeeze at the waistline. And activate that back leg. Just let it hold and support you. And as you let the heart kind of open up and almost like languish in this position, the shoulder blades catching the back of the heart. And slowly release. Moving back into that side plank, plant the left hand down. Wiggle the right foot down halfway to the mat. Right hand to right hip. Plug that left shoulder blade back. Spin the bicep forward. Let that open up the heart and the chest. And then maybe play with stacking the right leg over the left. And maybe option 2B, extend your right arm up and overhead. Big juicy side body opener. And slowly release the right hand down. Move back downward facing dog. Get a breath in here and a slow breath out. And as you feel that heart rate increase, and the heat start to rise in the body, maybe the mind is racing, do your best to lengthen the exhalation and really rest on that lengthened exhale. Kind of lean into it in a sense. And let that calm the nervous system. And inhale, sweep the left leg up and back. Second side, exhale to step it all the way through. And float your arms up into high lunge. And create this strong and supportive foundation in the low body as you bend the elbows out to the side, facing the palms forward. And lift and tone your low belly. Keep pressing down through the legs. And squeeze the shoulders onto the back and tip the elbows forward. Feel that rebound effect all the way up through the cervical spine, the back of your head. Lift the chest, lift the chin. Belly lifts and tones to support you in this deep and open-hearted back bend. And return to neutral. Arms float up. Open up warrior 2. And side angle pose. And offering minimal instruction on this side to really let you ride the flow of your breath. And release, take both hands down. Straighten the left leg. Squeeze the legs in. Triangle pose. And bring your right hand to the hip. Look forward and bounce forward, slide forward. Whoop. Half moon. Option to float the right arm up. And set your navel into your spine and square the pelvis, lower both hands down. Hug the outer left hip in. Inhale, extend the spine forward, cast that right leg back, and then drape your torso over the standing leg. Maybe walk the hands back. And bend into the front knee. Plant the right hand down. And keep the hips lifted, the belly engaged, and peel that left arm open for a twist. And the right hip And then floats and lifts up towards the sky as that left hip and left heel drags back. And bring your left hand to the left hip. Dial the right hand out just slightly as you press down and pivot onto the outer edge of the right foot, and left foot walks back. Imagine that puppet string drawing you upwards as you lift the left hand, feel the hips lift. Option to stack the left leg on top of the bottom. Option to sweep the left arm alongside the ear and open up the side body like an accordion or a slinky. And slowly release. Downward facing dog. And deep breath in. A long and slow breath out. And as we embrace this more playful and fiery side of ourselves and this energy that surrounds us around this time of year, we can also counterbalance that with this cooling and introspective practice. It doesn't negate one or the other, but really creates a nice sense of ease and this resiliency in the body and in the mind to just kind of move with the natural ebb and flow of our life, moving between external and internal, and fiery and cooling. And walk or hop to the top of your mat. And separate your feet nice and wide and fold forward. And bend your knees generously to rest your chest on your thighs. And either grab hold of opposite elbows or interlace the hands behind the neck and let the elbows drape down to give yourself a nice traction and stretch in the cervical spine. And any shape that invites us to quite literally fold or turn inwards is one that's going to be a more introspective and cooling shape. And feeling all that blood and fresh nutrients kind of pour down into our organs, into our heart, our brain, saturating this part of our body with a fresh flow of blood supply and of life, of vitality. Remembering that we don't just get that from our outside world, but that we have the ability to provide it for ourselves. And point your toes out just slightly. And moving down into Malasana, squat pose. And gathering your hands either at your heart or reaching them out, like making little kickstands with the arms. So you just let the hips sink down, pull the upper body through. And one more breath in here. And then slowly lower all the way down. Good. Grab hold of the shins. And this is a small little sequence of movements from a good friend of mine, Lindsay, who has introduced me to this really lovely seated cat and cow. And so as you butterfly the legs apart from each other, pull the heart through. And exhale and round the spine like cat pose, closing the legs, straightening the arms, and pulling the belly back. And inhale, moving forward. Exhale, rounding back, hugging in. Inhale, opening up. Kind of a nice metaphor for our practice today. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, rounding back and holding on this last round in. Pull the belly inwards and slowly roll yourself all the way down. Okay, walk the feet in ever so slightly and gather the shoulder blades under your back. And take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. And soaking up this moment of constructive rest, letting all the pieces fall together. Just practicing a moment or two of non-doing. And walk your feet in even closer and turn your toes forward. And as you plug the shoulder blades underneath you, and feel how that lifts the front of your chest, but also catches the back of your heart. So this really beautiful feeling of being held and receptive at the same time. And now bend at the elbows and plug the backs of the arm bones down, press down to the back of your head as well. Kind of like robot arms. And as you press down into your feet, lift your chest, your hips up as you puff your chest up towards the sky. And you can stay here or interlace your hands underneath you. You can also grab opposite edges of the mat and try to rip it apart to squeeze the shoulder blades together. So wherever you land, and find your bridge pose. And reach your legs forward, the tail reaches forward. A little hug in of the legs to center the pelvis. And press down into the feet actively so that you can open up the front of the body in this really beautiful and grounding back bend. See if you can roll the upper arm bones away from each other. And take another sip of breath in wherever you are. And then exhale, slowly release. And stretch your arms out nice and wide. Shift the hips over to the left side and let the knees fall to the right for a twist. And maybe draw the right shoulder blade out from underneath you. And exhale to set the navel in towards your spine. A little support as you switch to the other side. Pick the hips up, shift them over to the right, let the knees fall over to the left. And to deepen the twist, you can lift the left shoulder blade out from underneath you and reach the left arm away from the midline of the body. And perhaps look over the right shoulder. A nice stretch and release for the neck. And draw the belly in, breathe the legs back up through center. And when you're ready, release your arms down to your side and start to settle into Shavasana. Good. Allow any thoughts or feelings just to flow in and out like clouds blowing through the sky. And for the next several moments, allowing your body and your mind to integrate all of this feedback and information. And take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And stretch your arms up and overhead. Reach through the toes and take a full body stretch. And slowly rolling over to one side and pressing yourself up to sit. And with the eyes closed, bring your hands to heart center and then place them right over your chest. The shoulders fall away from the ears. And allow yourself to be seated here in this shape, to be held by this posture. It's like you're creating a little seat for your heart. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Bow your chin down to your chest in gratitude to this practice. As I bow in gratitude to you for joining me in this practice today. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this outdoor yoga class, and I look forward to offering more to come.